Kevin, that is exactly how I felt when I found out we weren't going to lead the show with just Thursday Night Football. Because, hi, it's SportsCenter. I'm Elle Duncan. That's Kevin DeGandhi. The NFL season officially kicks off, 2 hours and 20 minutes from now? And if you like your centennial with a deluge of drama, then you're probably a Raiders fan.
Antonio Brown's motto, business is booming,
Sure.
right, Elle? Right now, business could be a bust in Oakland. The Raiders are looking into suspending the wide receiver, which could possibly void more than $29 million in his contract after a confrontation with GM Mike Mayock yesterday. All this before taking his first official snap with the team, which would be Monday night against the Broncos on ESPN. Brown caught a league-high 15 touchdowns a year ago with the Steelers before being dealt to the Raiders back in March for a 3rd and 5th round pick. The 31-year-old began training camp on the non-football injury list because of frostbite on his feet after a cryotherapy mishap in France in early July. Brown left camp for 2 weeks seeking therapy for his feet, which included laser treatments. And then there was the helmet issue. He threatened to not play when the league wouldn't allow him to use the only helmet he has worn in his NFL career. He lost 2 appeals before announcing he found a new helmet company. But the same day of that announcement, Brown posted this letter from Raiders GM Mike Mayock, which said the receiver was being fined $54,000 for missing time during training camp. AB responded by firing back and tagging the Raiders with his own message, "When your own team want to hate, but there's no stopping me now." Josina Anderson reporting that Brown had a confrontation with Mayock yesterday during practice over the letter, and the Raiders plan to suspend him. Today, here is Mayock.
Okay, short and sweet. Antonio Brown's not in the building today. He won't be practicing. I don't have any more information for you right now. And when I have some and it becomes appropriate, you guys will all get it. I promise you. But that's it for today. Thank you.
And I'm not going to get into all of it. Obviously, he wasn't here today, and when we have some information for you, we'll give it to you. I'm not going to get into all this. If you want to ask about the Raiders, I've been talking about the same guy every day. It's the first time I've seen you, but like I said, I don't have much to give you other than he's not here today. When we get an opportunity to give you some more information, we will, respectfully. I'm emotional about it. I hope you understand why. I think a lot of this guy. I think Antonio is a great receiver, and I think deep down, I think he's a really good guy. So I'm frustrated. I'm not going to say any more about it. Hope it all works out, but I don't have anything official to say about anything else until I get all the facts, and that's what I'm going to do.
If you look back all the way to March, Gruden has defended Antonio Brown publicly on several occasions. The man who broke the story, Adam Schefter, joining us now. Adam, you've reported all day that the Raiders are planning to suspend Brown. When will they make a decision?
I think they're going over their options right now, Kevin, because this is big money that's at stake. This is the future of Antonio Brown in Oakland that's at stake. This is their team's season that's at stake to a certain extent, because you're talking about a player who's so good and so talented, but there are a lot of issues. You documented them all season long. But when you got a player who gets into a confrontation with the general manager in front of the whole team, and everybody sees it, and they're shouting, and it's a heated exchange, that is a difficult thing. Can you remember a Hall of Fame talent ever basically getting into a confrontation, having to be separated from his general manager in the week of the regular season opening game? It's a very surreal circumstance on top of a lot of surreal circumstances in Oakland surrounding Antonio Brown. The team right now is sifting through its options. Initially, I was told today that he would be either suspended or released, and then I was told it would be suspended, and now I think they're huddling up to figure out exactly how they want to handle this moving forward.
All right, it comes down to business. How does the $29 million in guaranteed money play into this situation with Monday night's game?
Kevin, it's not 21, it's over 30, and they have not paid him any money yet. So basically, the Raiders could suspend him, and already the basic guarantees in his contract have voided. There's a clause in his contract that says, basically, I could get you the exact language. If you miss practice, if you're not here, you're in violation of team rules, we could void the bonus money. He already, the Raiders believe, has been in violation of that contract. So it's a question of what they want to do. They could conceivably cut him before Saturday and not pay him anything in their mind. he will fight that decision, and it could lead to a long, tricky, messy battle between these two sides that doesn't look like it's going to be ending anytime soon, Kevin.
And keep this in mind, because we're following it as of right now. Antonio Brown has unfollowed the Raiders and Derek Carr on Instagram. Adam, I still follow you, though.
Happy start of the regular season, Kevin.
Exactly. ESPN's Mike Tannenbaum tweeting this as context here when we talk about money. The significance of a suspension is that it would void, assuming a normal contract when it comes to language here, his $29 and $125,000 in contract guarantees. We're talking about $29 million. However, if Brown is on the active roster on opening day, his $14 million salary for 2019 becomes guaranteed because he's a veteran. The Raiders could suspend him and then release him, and then they would owe him nothing in terms of guaranteed money. Now it's time for Tony and Mike to weigh in on a career that may not even take off in the silver and black.
All right, Wilbon, is the Antonio Brown-Raiders relationship really over before he plays one game in Oakland?
No, Tony, I don't even believe they're going to suspend him. I don't believe the Raiders have the guts to suspend him. They want him out there. They have to know, and by they, I mean Mayock and Gruden. Oh, wait, no, let's go the other way. Gruden and Mayock, they have to know they look like fools. Gruden particularly looks like a chump who's having his lunch money taken. They go out there, he got rid of a receiver, which was nearly as good. No one was as productive as Antonio Brown the last few years, but he had a terrific impact receiver. He gives away Khalil Mack, and then he comes into this season and has to start it all over, and the first big move is already blowing up in their faces.
Right.
So, no, he has made them look stupid. They deserve each other, and I don't think the Raiders can do anything but put him on the field.
Yeah, I mean, I have no idea if he's going to play or if he's going to play once or twice or ever. I mean, I don't really know. I'm pretty confident of this, that it's not like Antonio Brown was an unknown quantity.
That's right.
All right, he's got great talent. He has also been problematic. He has been narcissistic. He has been anti-authoritarian in Pittsburgh. Everybody saw these things. The Raiders probably felt that they could harness that talent, and it's blowing up in their face. I think the critical mistake they made, this is just my opinion, I don't think they should have fined him. He had gone out publicly and said that he was happy that Gruden had his back, and then Mayock, who wouldn't have done it without Gruden,
right?
They fined him, and that just engendered ill will. I thought
well, so Gruden tried to have it both ways.
So I think strategically
he wanted to have him fined while publicly saying, I got your back. Anytime you get that greedy with it, Tony, that's what I'm saying. The Raiders get what they deserve here. And by the way, what due diligence would you be doing if you didn't know that this guy is not just a distraction, Antonio Brown? He's disruptive at every turn.
Has been.
Of course. Apparently continues to be. That's it. We're done. Back to you.
Thank you. We now interrupt this soap opera with this. It's the NFL's 100th season kicking off tonight. We have football, Kevin, and we've got the league's oldest rivalry, the 199th meeting between the Packers and Bears. Let's catch up on their storylines. The teams split their head-to-head meetings last year. Chicago, coming off a 12-4 campaign, ended with that heartbreaking one-point loss to Philly in the wild card round, while Green Bay won just 6 games a year ago, its second straight season, missing the playoffs. Former Rams and Titans offensive coordinator Matt LaFleur is set to make his debut as Packers head coach, and it's going to be interesting to see how he meshes with his star quarterback, because last year Aaron Rodgers posted the worst QBR of his career since becoming a starter in 2008. And Rodgers, for his part, is going to have his hands full tonight because, you know, Khalil Mack and the Bears defense that allowed a league-low 17.7 points per game a year ago, and Mack had 3.5 sacks, a forced fumble and recovery, and a pick 6 in 2 games against the Packers last season. To talk about tonight's season opener, the Hoffer is here. Steve Young, hello. And Steve, considering that Aaron Rodgers is running a new offense for the first time in 10 seasons and didn't play a single snap of the preseason, what are reasonable expectations for tonight?
We want perfection, El. We want perfection. That's what we want. Look, I don't know that Aaron, at this point, it's really about assimilating all the things between the coach and he and the play calling. I'm not worried about that. I'm sure there'll be some rust and some different things, but essentially these are 2 Super Bowl possible bound teams, and for the Packers, it's the transition. How fast can you transition with a new coach and everything else? I expect tonight that I think we'll be surprised how well it goes. because Aaron has put a lot of time in to make sure that it goes well. And their whole existence, the coach and quarterback now, are kind of wedded to making this work. So I think I'm highly optimistic that it's going to go very well.
And if anybody has the ability to audible and kind of see things play out,
I'll figure it out, right?
It would be Aaron Rodgers. Now, on the other side, we've got Mitchell Trubisky. He led the Bears to their first playoff appearance since 2010. What kind of jump do you think that Trubisky can make as he enters year 3 in the league?
I want a big jump. I want the jump where it's because of you. You know, last year, a little bit was because of him in the positive, but also in the negative. But because of you in the positive, like in other words, we have a good defense or even a great defense. But because of me, and he doesn't have to say this, but because of me, we're starting to win football games. I'm actually the reason. I know I don't want to say that that's the way a quarterback thinks about it, but that's the way I want him to grow into. That because of him, the Bears are winning ball games, and more than not. And so that's the next level for his maturity to be a great football player is he starts winning games because he's just that good.
And Steve, as you know, coaches dig the long ball. So the numbers say one area he could improve on is the deep ball. He completed only 33% of his passes on throws with air yards of 20-plus yards. He had 3 touchdowns and 4 picks. So I imagine that he could see a little room for improvement there. You know who's first in the league for drama? That would be Oakland. So Steve's going to come back a little later in the show and weigh in on Antonio Brown's potential suspension.
Yeah. Now, you rarely see franchise quarterbacks enter their final season without a new deal, especially if they're underpaid by $30 million, according to the market. That's what Dak Prescott is doing as he watched Jerry Jones dish out over $185 million in guaranteed money to 4 players this offseason. First, DeMarcus Lawrence, who got $65 million in guaranteed money after playing last season on the franchise tag. Then Jerry gave Jalen Smith $35.5 million, the 3rd largest contract of any linebacker in the NFL, behind C.J. Mosley and Bobby Wagner. This week, he locked up his offensive tackle, La'el Collins, to the tune of $35 million in guaranteed money. Collins has played the most offensive snaps of any member of the Cowboys the last 2 seasons. And finally, there's Zeke, now the NFL's highest-paid running back. So now all eyes on Dak, who's entering the final season of his 4th-round rookie deal.
He also told us yesterday he wants to see your contract extension done and play with you for the rest of his career.
He's so sweet, isn't he?
Yeah. How much do you want to see it done, and how much do you want to see it done before Sunday?
I mean, obviously, I want to see it done. To put a time frame on it, I think I've said this before, I'm not going to do that. At this point, my focus is all on the Giants defense, what this team needs to do to win the game. I think it's just the way I was raised, everything that I've been through on and off the field, that I just focus on what I can control, and the rest of the stuff doesn't matter to me.
I'll check him.
Ed Werder joins us now from Frisco, Texas. Ed, we just heard from Dak, but what is the team saying about a possible new deal for him before the season opener Sunday against the Giants?
Well, Kevin, let's put that figure, $185 million, into some kind of context. That's more than the $140 million that Jerry Jones spent to purchase the entire franchise in 1989. And the Cowboys aren't finished yet. They do remain determined to make Dak Prescott one of the highest-paid quarterbacks in the league, even if negotiations continue into the season. Stephen Jones still hasn't ruled out doing so before the team plays the Giants, saying here today, don't ever say never. The season doesn't start until Sunday. At the very least, with Elliott's holdout ended, the Cowboys front office has met its obligation to put the best possible team around Prescott. And Jones emphasized the Cowboys are totally committed to him, saying, I just can't imagine Dak doesn't know what we think of him. We're trying to put the best team around him. We want him to win Super Bowls, and he's going to be the quarterback here for many, many years to come. For his part, as you heard, Prescott says he wants to get his first big money NFL contract done, but won't attach a timeline to it. And he reiterated again that he's comfortable playing into the season while negotiations continue. His focus, however, remains on preparing to play the New York Football Giants at Jerry World on Sunday.
Prescott banking on himself. We'll see how this plays out. Ed Werder with the very latest on the Cowboys.